For the longest time now, I've been typing the same section of code snippets when I'm writing codes and when I'm trying to accomplish a mission here. Writing the same section of code over and over is kind of something like a problem for me, and I'm guessing it's the same with all programmers. So I decided to learn functions. I decided to learn how function works, understand the algorithm behind functions, so I could use it to make my codes more readable and understandable. And ever since I learned functions, like my codes have become more manageable, more readable, and more understandable. I'm gonna show you the steps I did follow in order to grab the function. Now imagine a code snippet like this, and if you want to echo this code, you're gonna need to, if you want to write, if you want to add a code snippet or another sum, you're gonna need to write it out like this. And this is kind of confusing and too much to handle, right? So with all this, I'm just going with the basic stuff, right? I'm just going with the basic stuff, because we're gonna leave from the basic to an intermediate level, but we're gonna do it gradually in order for everyone to get a piece of knowledge in what we're trying to do out here. So with writing out these codes, it's kind of time consuming, and if you're working on a big project, right, like a big project like an e-commerce platform or something, you're gonna need to write all this down, and that's probably time consuming and time wastage and energy and all stuff. That's why function came into place, because if you check the other languages, the first languages like C, they didn't have the object oriented model, which they were limited in some things like in object and stuff. But with their knowledge nowadays, for example, for a language like PHP, everything has been covered and everything has been done. We're gonna get right into it. So we're gonna get right into it and start creating a function. So what we're gonna do here is, a function contains these few things, which is we've got parameters, these are the four most essential parts when it comes to function creation, right? We've got the function name, we've got parameters, we've got argument, and we've got return value, and we're gonna treat anyone like an individual. So we're gonna go to phase one, which is this one. First, we're gonna try to create a function that adds two values, which are first off, we're gonna write a function. We're gonna write the name function. That's the first part of it. Then later on, we're gonna write the name of the function, which is one of the most essential part in creating a function. So I'm gonna just put add my brackets, call it braces. I don't really know your names, and I open it up. That's the function. So what you need to pass into these functions are your arguments and your parameters, which are return value. For done the first part already, the name of the function could be anything. For example, you could have function add some. You can use counter casing in whatever method you want, but your function should be readable and understandable, right? So your function name could be anything, and from this bracket, this is where you pass in the parameters. For example, we've got here, let's use this one above. For example, we've got this one, pass in your parameters. I'm gonna use A and B, which are my parameters. So these things are more variables. We shouldn't use the big terms to make you all feel bad. These are all variables. These are all variables we are adding into our system, into our function, so they could store the numbers the user will be inputting, right? So we've got A and B, which are called parameters. At the same time, they could be called variable. So we're gonna get on like here. I'm gonna pass in my arguments, which are, so these are all when it comes to a function. These are all things that are required when it comes to a function. We've got the function name, we're passing the parameters. There are cases where parameters are needed, right? But we're gonna get to that, which that's gonna be the next level. So for now, we're gonna let this be, and we're gonna check it out if everything is good. But first, we're gonna make sure we echo out what's going on. So we're gonna echo out so after echoing out our function name, right, I'm gonna close it right here, but incomplete, right? As you can see, incomplete. But the function has these parameters, so they're supposed to be passed in as well. So since they are variables here, right, they are here as variables, so I'm gonna pass in their figures, which could be any figure I'm gonna put in, and they should be integer. So Let's try it and see how it goes. You see, just by typing the page, just by typing the URL, it gave me this as result 13. Let's check it out. Yeah, the answer is correct, 13. So the thing you're supposed to notice here is we've got this function in, right? Even if I add a variable here like sum, even if I add a variable here like sum equals this, and I try to equal this like sum equal sum, right? For example, if I try to equal this, it won't work. It has an underline already. It won't work because here this is more of the local variables, right? And this is more of the local variables, and it's stored just within this function and cannot be accessed outside this function. It's like a private class, but I'm thinking most of you haven't got an idea on that, so I'm gonna leave. It's like a private room, right? For example, in an apartment, there's a master bedroom and other bedrooms. But within the apartment, in order for you to access one of the bedrooms, you need to get into the house first. So it seems like you can't get into any of those rooms without passing through this function. So in order for you to have access to this sum, right, you need to get it through this function. So this sum here is known as the local variables, and the local variable and cannot be accessed outside of this function. That's why we use the name. That's why we use the name of the function instead of the local variable itself. That's it. So here's gonna be 12. Let's check it out again. Just refresh. 12. That's it. Everything good. So we gonna move over to page 2.